Okay guys, I'm gonna install this, I think it's the reed block, I think that's what they call this. The carburetors are gonna be here. Reed block manifold, intake manifold. Anyway, here's the gasket. Came out of my gasket kit. It only goes one way, like that. And these, the stuffer blocks I've been telling you about, Chris Carson Marine makes them. What they do is they adjust the compression of your engine. So here's the reed that goes in, the reed block goes in here like this. And typically it would be up higher like this. What this stuffer block does is it stuffs it down, well, it can only go in one way as well. It drops it down a little bit further. Actually, it'll go up a little bit. It won't quite sit. So it sits a little bit higher here than just laying it in. So there's a little bit of a gap there. But that adjusts the compression of the engine, which supposedly gets great performance, better startup, better, smoother acceleration, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to put this guy on. If it runs terribly, I'll take them out. But there's been good reports that they work great. So, and these guys can only go in one way, so they've got to go on the gasket one way. And this goes like this. Okay, so if I go like that, I know that this stuffer block has to go flip it like this. And this reed valve block goes like that. Now here's something tricky. I don't know if you go back and look at when I tore this thing apart. This gasket was stuck to this, and it was on the other side. It wasn't underneath this, it was over top of, it was resting over top of these. These square blocks were cut out the same size as this, and it wasn't flat. I'm thinking it was installed incorrectly. Either that or someone just put it back together, although it didn't come off very easily. I'm thinking it was whoever put the thing on put it on backwards. It's my only guess. These bolts I took out had lock washers on them. Well, if you go to put these on with the lock washer, it binds and it doesn't go in straight. And I've looked in the manual and I've looked on the parts catalog, and if you order this screw, it does not come with a lock washer. So I'm thinking that lock washer was not supposed to be there. So I'm going to put it together without the lock washer. And I'm also, there's a guy that rebuilds these. He has a video and he uses Loctite. So I'm going to get some blue Loctite to put these on. But just right now, for temporary purposes, I'm going to put everything together. And so everything's in the correct orientation. And then I can flip it over, and I can take one screw out at a time and put the Loctite back on it. One bolt's longer than the other. This one, it goes in through the carburetor intake here, so it's longer. The other one's on the outside. So, there's the right hole there. They're just going to snug them up a little bit. See, so there's one, and it goes just like this. Get this arm out of the way. And the carbs will sit on top of there. So let's go to the next one. Let's go this way, so I know how to get that stuffer block in. Next one goes like this, which means it flips over like this. You know, this gasket moved a little bit too, so I'm going to loosen that up again. I won't even start to snug them down until all the blocks, reed blocks are in there. That way we can move the gasket around to make sure it's nice and centered. Started. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna leave that loose so I can keep adjusting this gasket if I need to. This one is centered in there. Next one is number 3. Goes like that. So flip it over. Goes like that.
Well, I should have enough lasagna for everybody to have a couple pieces at lunch, and then some people to have some more for dinner.
Sounds good.
Am I in the middle of a video?
Yeah, you could be like a star. It's my wife, she's gorgeous. If you don't like that part, we can cut it out.
Okay.
This is the reed block, honey. This is what carburetors are going to be on this side. This is flipped upside down. It'll go like this. Carburetor's on top, so it brings in air and gas. These reeds open up when they need air and gas, and then when the pistons close, they suck these back down so the air doesn't go through, so they open and close. These little reeds open and close. And these are high performance reeds, so
Beautiful.
we'll see if they perform highly. Whoops. That one didn't line up very well. There's 3. Okay, we gotta get those things centered because there's not a lot of room to adjust that. Alright, so number 4. Yeah, so it goes like this. I'm hoping all these reed blocks are the same. They look the same. They do the same job. Next one. It's number 5. Flip it over like this. We need a long one. Last one. gasket looks good. Thinking. Centered in all the holes. So I'm gonna flip him over. Careful, I don't put too much pressure on it. So snug these down a little bit. They're gonna come back out when I do the Loctite. Manual doesn't call for Loctite, but the shop that he works on these all the time, and he puts Loctite in them, so I trust him. I do the same. I don't see how it can hurt. As long as I don't glob it on. Alright, here we go. Make sure it lines up without slamming it in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Beauteous Maximus. I like it. Okay guys, I just found something. I think I know what happened. These short screws, there's two different lengths. The longer and the shorter. The short ones, remember I said I had those locking rings? There were 6 of these. They had lock rings on them, and they just wouldn't fit in there. They go kind of going on an angle, and it would bind. That can't be right. But what I just found 6 other bolts, same size, same everything, without lock washers, and they have black paint on them, which means they were these guys. So it's the exact same bolt without the washer. So I was right. And they're the same size. So what these do is they actually hold the outside of this. They hold this plate down on the crankcase cover. Is that what they called? So these will go. Boy, you wouldn't want to drop that in there, would you? That could cause a problem. Where did I take him out of? Right there. We're going to put the right color in. It doesn't make a difference, but hey, these are painted, so we're going to just put the painted ones on the outside. So I was right. There shouldn't have been a lock washer there. It's just that I just couldn't believe that there'd be 6 lock washers, and how in the world did I get them out of there? Because they were binding. But I didn't. I took them out and I laid them down in a different place, apparently. Look at that. It even lines up. The paint lines up. So that's cool. Sometimes it's like a jigsaw puzzle. I know a guy that could build Ford Mustangs in his sleep. He used to work on the line. He worked on like every position. It was in the 80s, I think, 70s, 80s. And you have a bucket of bolts and a 55-gallon drum, and he'd just reach out and pull out the one that he wanted and knew exactly where it went. Not that good. I guess it depends on what you work on. 387 Telex printer. Yeah, I knew where every bolt went on that thing. Oh, that was terrible. Never want to work on those again. And one last one. Every bolt to an RC10. I probably would know how that would go together. All right, so these with lock washers go in these locations right here. There's 6 of them. Okay, so this must be a different size. I need 8. I'll go look around and see if I can find 2 more. But should be. How come these don't have paint on them? Wait a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. do have to put the washers on, John. No, you don't. The washers go here. Why aren't those painted though? No, I'm second guessing again. Probably should go and see if these have washers. Go look at the manual. Do I have 8 bolts? I have 8 bolts over here that look like this. I bet these go there. What do you want to bet? Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know where these 6 go. I'll find them. They go somewhere. Probably somewhere in the carbs. A little ahead of myself. Well, at least I'm confident that those were not supposed to have lock washers on them. There's no way that they would go in there with lock washers. Yeah, all these have paint on them, so that kind of helps figure out where they go. There's 3 on the back, 3 more. Yeah, that if you drop that in there, there's still a reed valve that would catch it, I guess, but you'd have to. 2 at a time. And there's a couple here that are loose. We're going to tighten all these up though. We're going to put a Loctite on all these. So I guess I'll just leave them set. Alright, I got to figure out where these screws go. It bothers me. I'll figure it out. Okay guys, we're going to do the oil delete as if the engine was never torn apart. Here's the shaft that connects down into that plastic drive gear. Trying to see if it, oh, yeah. And here's the bushing that it would ride in. But we're not going to use it. Went back and forth, deciding, you know, do I keep it? Do I not? Do I keep it? Do I not? And just would rather not rely on that plastic drive gear inside. So here's the kit. Comes with this plug and 2 bolts and a rubber washer O-ring. So I would imagine the O-ring could use a little grease. Put a little grease on it. Every O-ring I put in this so far needed some grease, so why not? Oh, that's enough. Moving it up here. Here's the goes there. I don't think it matters, although there's like a half cut on this thing. I don't think it matters which way it goes, because it doesn't really line up either way inside. I'm guessing this is okay like this. And 2 screws, 2 bolts, whatever they are. They don't quite line up very well. I guess they're all right. What size those are? A socket that size? It's my small socket. No. Find a wrench. Tighten them up with. I do have the right socket. It's the same one they used to tighten the rod bolts. Rod bolt caps. It's a 5/16. Don't think these need to be too tight. You don't want to strip them. Snug. I'm sure I could snap these. Okay, there it is. Oil gear delete. Man, I'm impressed with this gasket kit. It looks like it has every gasket, even the outdrive stuff. These are pieces for the outdrive. Well, I thought I'd have to buy separate ones of those. I think this is, I saw where that one goes. What else do we have here? These are for the carbs. There's one for the one side, one for the other. Intake side and air cleaner side, whatever. So I don't want to open plastic, but maybe I just do it. Bite the bullet. Try to keep the dust off of them. These swamps come like Christmas. These cool things. All new pieces. New pieces are so much more fun to put on than old pieces. Because they go to better. They go together easier. Alright. So we can put all these pieces back. These are the O-rings for the cylinder heads. Should be 6 of these. Where's the other one? Right there. Oh, right there. So I have 6 of those. The cylinder heads and the cylinder head. These are the outside for the cylinder head. Seals. Don't know where that guy goes yet. We'll find out. Let's slide this back in. Where those guys go yet either. We'll figure it out. This guy here going there. Alright. So now, set them there. We need these guys. Oh, no, no. See, that's what I didn't want to happen. Just have to lay it flat. Stay there. Alright. So these 3 and these 3 for the carbs. We have to find bolts for the carbs. Okay, this is one of those instances where I wish I knew a mechanic that knows these engines. I've never seen a YouTube that shows how to do this either. And the manual is not accurate. Right here, this is the exhaust cover, okay? This is the seal. This is the gasket. The book shows A is the divider seal. They call this a divider seal. They call B the gasket, or the exhaust cover. That's not an exhaust cover. C is the gasket. So the drawing's wrong. Okay, no big deal. We can figure that out. But what I want to know is how this divider seal, how long is that supposed to be? If you look here, it's, I don't know if you can see this. Hold on. It's longer than the cover, which if it's like the other cork seal that goes on the split cover of the crankcase, you cut the extra off. So I'm going to put it right to the edge, and then to hold it there I might put a little grease on it just to hold it temporarily. I can't get this to stay in there either, so I'll just put it there to hold it and slide it in there. Yeah, be handy, but the book doesn't say how to do it, and I guess I'm trying to see what it actually does. It seals these two different sides so you're not getting pressure from one side to the other, I guess. It would only overlap maybe 1/4 inch on either side, which I don't think I can get the thing in. I think it's got to be cut right off at the edge. So that's what I'm going to do. See what happens.